All right. Hi, everyone. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Parker Johnson, and I'm very grateful and honored to be speaking with you today. Before I begin, I just want to quickly say to the Pacifica faculty, staff, and to you family and friends out there, thank you all so much for being here. We all really appreciate you so much more than you could ever imagine. All right, on with the speech. Which, by the way, I never quite understood the concept of students speaking at their own graduations. In my mind, at least, the purpose of a graduation speaker is to give their audience some sort of decisive wisdom, something that they can impart on graduates and that they can take with them throughout their lives. On the other hand, I could not decide which pair of socks to wear to winter formal this year, so I'm not taking that approach. I hope you'll forgive me. But initially, I wanted to just come up here and say something broad to you all. I wanted to say something that all of my classmates behind me could immediately connect with. I mean, no one likes a boring speech, right? It sounded simple enough, but I ran into a problem about 20 minutes later. The class of 2026 is the largest graduating class in Pacifica's history. How do you connect with an all right. So how do you connect with an audience of nearly 100 students, and even more friends and family, all of whom have had completely different high school experiences with something as little as a 5-minute speech? How do you reach to the basketball players, the theater lovers, the surf and volleyball teams, and everyone in between? Honestly, it might just not be possible, although Mr. Dobbins probably could do it, but I'll try. The truth is that I just don't have everyone's experiences. I only have my own story. But it's my hope, and I think it'll be the case, that in some tiny way, shape, or form, it's not too far off from yours. Whenever I scroll through my camera roll back to photos of myself from years past, someone without fail always comments on how I've looked completely the same over the last 4 years. Now, while that might be true in the sense that freshman year Parker seemed like he had taken one too many gap years, I actually don't think he would recognize who I am today. Around 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a depressive mood disorder that I still deal with today. And you could tell back then I was quiet, I was shy, and I'll be the first one to say it, I was scared. I was scared to reach out, and I was scared to connect. And for a long, long time, no matter how many people I surrounded myself or how many people I stood around, I just felt completely and utterly alone. Not even those wildly cramped seating arrangements at ASM could really give me that sense of belonging. Now, bear with me, I know that sounds bad, but I promise that the story has a happy ending. And funnily enough, it's actually not a very dramatic one either. It wasn't me, I didn't do anything, and it wasn't because I figured anything out. It wasn't something that I did. It was you. For whatever reason, I couldn't reach out, so you reached out to me. During my time here, I've lived with you, I've laughed with you, and I have groaned alongside you every time that yet another BOD gets assigned. I have loved all of Dr. Wood's stories. I've loved all the walks to freelance in the middle of the school day, and I loved watching Dr. Bailey break it down on the dance floor at prom. That was so cool. I truly mean it when I say that it's because of you guys that for the last 4 years, I've been able to get in my car every morning and drive to a place that I find community in. And I want to thank you all for that from the bottom of my heart. Now, obviously, you probably didn't go through this exact scenario, but I'd be willing to bet money that there's been a time in your life, at least one, where you felt just a little bit on the outside. Just a bit like you don't belong, maybe. And similarly, I'd bet that there's been a time where you've been the one reaching out to connect, that you've been the one making sure that people know that they do belong. And I'm sure that for the class of 2026, there will be many more of these moments for us as we go on in life. Now, I've learned a lot at Pacifica over the last 4 years, but the most valuable thing wasn't taught inside of a classroom. It wasn't a lesson about calculus or a discussion on medieval literature, as good as those were. It was the way in which a community, a good community, full of good people who care for their fellow people, could truly impact my life for the better. Now, I'm not sure what the future holds for us. The places that we'll go, the people that we'll meet, and the things that we'll do are all up in the air. But that's all part of the adventure. If there's one thing that I could tell you all before then, one thing that I could impart despite my lack of decisive wisdom, it would be this: keep reaching out. Just keep connecting and keep caring. I know it sounds painfully simple, but trust me when I say that continuing to do so will drastically change the course of both your life and the lives of everyone that you interact with. And you've already done that for me. And so, to wrap things up, as the class of 2026 becomes the class of 2030, I only really have one thing to say. Thank you for everything that you've done and for everything that you will.